Story time. Story time. Story time. Yo, what's poppin'? Hey, we want to keep growing this YouTube channel, so as soon as we start doing live shows, you guys are already tapped in. So make sure you head over to YouTube, give us a follow. Once again, the Storytime merch is available. Just click the link in the description and get yours today. Now let's get into the story. I call this one Grandmama and Jody. Before I was a full-time entrepreneur, I had a part-time job. Not gonna get into all what I was doing, but I worked at an office. On the staff at this office was this older lady. She was probably about maybe 25, maybe 30 years older than me. But she was put together, snatched, for real, for real. She always used to, pull my coattails to certain situations that was going on in the office because I wasn't there full-time, I was just there part-time. It was always nice just to have another ear in the building or whatever. So she always kept me up on all the tea or whatnot. So it didn't start off romantically. She was sort of like my work wife. I believe one day I brought in lunch or something like that, and then that led her to cooking and taking care of me basically at work. And you already know, like, old people call you by your full name. So she used to always be like, Thomas Mack, you so silly. Thomas Mack, you so silly. I'd be like, man, just call me Tom. It's cool. Just call me Thomas Mack. I'm gonna call you what your mama call you. I'm gonna call you what your mama call you. I don't even remember how the relationship actually escalated. All I know is I remember one day I was in my office and she came in my office and started rubbing on my shoulder. Next thing you know, she was giving me head in my office. Now, she had one adult son. She was married for quite some time, but she had been, he passed or whatever. He was considerably older than her, but she hadn't done anything, been anywhere, nothing. Now, listen, people always be like, you should date older, or you should date younger, or you should date your age, or whatever. I've been around enough to know that every age group has its own thing, right? If you go too young, you're gonna get immaturity, overreactiveness, emotions, all this crazy stuff. You go too old, super set in their ways, don't want to go nowhere, and if they do go somewhere, it's such a big deal of going somewhere that, you don't even want to go. So everybody has something in the dating realm, right? I typically go younger because I can put up with immaturity and impulsiveness and maybe bad decisions from a younger person. But it's hard to do that from an older person because you're supposed to have experience and you're supposed to know some things. I digress. Let's get back into the story. I had told her, I was like, hey, why don't you just come over to the crib, because I'm like, let's go ahead and see where this train is going. She was like, no, I ain't going over your house. Ain't none of these young bitches about to see my car in your driveway and tear my tires up. And I was, she was super how older people be super suspicious and apprehensive of everything, everything and everybody's a conspiracy. She wasn't on Facebook. She's like, I ain't putting my face on that book of faces. I ain't gonna be on that book of faces and people all poking me and all. No, that ain't for me. I let y'all young people do that. I'm just I would just laugh. So one day she called me and she was like, what you doing? Hey, I'm about to go to the movies real quick, and see one of the Marvel movies that was coming out. And she's like, oh, that sounds nice. I ain't been to the show in so long. People who know, old people call the movies the show, and they used to get dressed up to go to the show. And so I'm like, it's not for a few hours. You want to go? I think it started 6:05 or something like that. And she was like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. It's a cool situation. You can come. No big deal, right? So she like, okay, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready or whatever. Now, it's a Thursday. It's a 6:00 movie on a Thursday. So I had on a jogging suit and a pair of Crocs, right? I pull up to this lady's house. She is dressed to the nines. I'm talking dress, heels. She got one of them dope dealer furs on. I'm like, what is going on in here? And she get in the car and she see what I got on, and I'm like, it's Thursday at 6. Ain't nobody gonna be there. It's literally probably about to be me, you, and the popcorn man. I'm gonna do what I do. I don't do what young people do. When I go out on the town, I go out on the town. This goes back to what I said. They be overdoing it when they do go out. It's 6:05 on a Thursday and you're dressed like we're going to the Oscars. Okay. We get to the movie theater. She ain't been to the movies and probably, I don't even know how long, because she was in utter amazement. She was like, they got liquor in here? I told you I was right to dress up. They got a bar in here. You know, we order our little, concessions or whatever and go into the movie theater. In my head, I'm like, yeah, she about to really get blown away when she sit down. So she sit down and, it's one of the chairs with the recliner in it and, it's like the couch situation or whatever. So I'm like, you can lean back if you want. So I hit her button and it go back. She like, whoa, oh, look at this now. Look at this now. I'm embarrassed a little bit, but ain't nobody in the movie theater, so I don't really care. So, but we get to watching the movie. Now, I moved the seat thing over that was in between us, so, we ain't have no barrier. And, of course, she get right up in there. She like, now don't start nothing in here, Thomas Mack. Don't start nothing in here, right? So she rubbing on my chest and rubbing, and she rubbing low, she getting down to, the De La Monte region. Next thing you know, she go to sleep. Out, like knocked out. I look over and she like, and like when she yawned, and I noticed it before, but like when she was yawning, I noticed that side tooth was missing. Now I'm gonna get into that side tooth a little later. She just like was yawning it was so loud, and then I nudge her. I'd be like, hey, you went to sleep, right? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's late now. And I'm like, it is 6:30. Continually watching the movie or whatever. She goes back to sleep. She starts snoring again. I mean, snoring. I'm like, yeah, I would never sleep in a room with you. I would not be able to go to sleep at all. I'm like probably like halfway through the movie and I'm like, I'm just gonna come back. So I wake her up. I'm like, oh yeah, the movie over, let's go, you know what I'm saying? So she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. It just got so late so fast. I was running around today and da-da-da-da-da. So I put her in the car, take her home, right? And she's like, I'm so sorry. Was I snoring in there? In my head, I was like, nah, you wasn't snoring. You was more like communicating with whales in the ocean with massive sounds that were emitting from your mouth region. You incredible creature, you. But I was like, oh, you cool. It happened. Get her home, right? Help her to the door. Her son, he come out the door, cause she's still she's sleepy or whatever. So she come out to the door and he like, young, wannabe thug type dude, drooping, wife beater on, pair of Air Force Ones, the black ones. So he come out, you know what I'm saying? Oh, mama, you okay? You okay, mama? And he like looking at me all crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, oh, no, I'm fine. All right, Thomas Mack, I'll see you tomorrow, baby. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. All right. So I'm walking away. I'm walking back to get in the car. And I hear him say, he put something in your drink, mama. I knew right then and there that nigga was going to be a problem. She